Hello and welcome. I'm Wick, and today I will be reviewing the newest champion to come to Legend of Runeterra, Nilah, the Joy Unbound. She will be joining us with the Fate's Voyage Onward expansion, which is going to be releasing on September 13th. So let's go ahead, dive into this video, and then check out the cards that she has afterwards.
Joy, unbound and everlasting.
She said her name. Slipstream. Okay, we've seen Slipstream, and there's Nilah. 2 mana, 2/3 Brash. Okay.
Does it concern you?
Ooh. Okay. I didn't get to read the text yet. We'll see. New elusive card, of course, is broken.
My challenge.
She does something with the deck. Oh man. She is it like a draw cards next turn? Okay, Dedicant. That's a new card. So she drew 2 fleeting cards. All right, so we got Updraft, which is a new keyword. All right, Updraft. Oh my gosh, the whole hand just shuffled. Got the boat. Wait, what?
Your strength is lacking.
What just happened? Okay, so they're deep. Awesome. Hell yeah, dude. I didn't know what deep was. Okay, we got Master Lookout. Okay, here's the level up animation.
Take me to them.
Pretty good animation. Pretty good animation. I wonder if they're gonna have any skins for her. That'd be pretty crazy.
Swift, strong.
Oh, she has a boat! She unironically has a boat for herself. And her spell is the whips. That's actually pretty good. I mean, that's a really strong champion spell. For real. That's actually kind of crazy. The burst speed damage is gonna be crazy. Whoa, what is happening? I haven't read any of the cards yet, so.
Ecstasy.
Huh?
The river bends but never breaks.
What just happened? Whoa, okay, and here's all of the cards. So I guess we can just pause here and then go through all these. So I guess I'll start with Nilah. Nilah is a 2 mana, 2/3 unit in Bilgewater. She has Brash, and she says, attack. Create a slipstream in the top 6 cards of your deck. Oh wow. So we saw that other elusive. Oh, what he's done here. Vikrash. We saw Vikrash create a slipstream. So it's really interesting to see that he's not the only way to generate those. It looks like, you know, drawing is going to be a key part to this archetype, which is always scary because drawing is pretty strong. But it's putting it in the top 6 is all right. But I heard Sunny talking about it yesterday. How, you know, after 6 turns, you're gonna have the mana to play Slipstream and play all the cards that are fleeting. So it's probably pretty strong. So her level up is that she's drawn 16 cards, and I don't think that is I do believe that this is an in-deck quest, so similar to Twisted Fate, but she doesn't need to be on the field. She's a 2 mana 2/3. You know, I was falling asleep last night, and I said I just had this feeling she was gonna be a 2 mana 2/3, but I thought she was gonna have quick attack. I do think that Brash is actually a lot stronger, especially with the Formless Blades. You know, making it so that those units can't block. So after she's drawn 16 cards, she's gonna level up and she's gonna become a 3/4. Her attack will still have the create a slipstream in the top 6 cards, and then it also will, when she attacks. So that is the attack commit. This isn't a skill. When you commit her attacking, she creates a slipstream, and then she deals 2 damage to all the enemies and the enemy nexus. Whoa, so she Formless Blades everyone. That's really crazy. That's really strong, you know, because that just means that no one's going to be able to block her as a Brash unit. Dealing 2 damage every commit to every unit and the enemy nexus, so she is burned, which is great. Wow, this seems like a really powerful card. And then we also see that the Formless Blades, as we saw in the video, will be her champion spell. Wow, drawn 16 cards though. That is quite expensive, right? That's not an easy level up condition at all. Um, so 16 cards. You have slipstreams. I don't know. That's kind of crazy. I feel like she's not going to be too difficult to level up, or I don't know. We'll have to see. 16 cards. Like we thought Zoe was really bad. You know what I mean? Having to see 8 cards or 10, whatever. But this is a draw 16. There's a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop over to this other burst spell. This is Joy Unending, which is a 3 mana burst spell that says it's an elemental spell as well, but it's gonna give allies +1/+0 this round and heal damage allies too. Oh my gosh, Star Spring buff. That is 3 mana. Heal everything 2 +1 attack. 3 mana. Whoa. This card has to be good. I just don't understand. Like I do see and I do understand why it's in Bilgewater. It's not as though they don't have healing effects. You know, they have the Citrus Courier, which heals all allies. Giving all allies +1/+0 at burst speed. Like this, I mean, I'll be honest, like I am only thinking about this in Scouts, and I don't even know if this can be played in Scouts because it's 3 mana, but it is pretty powerful. I think this card's interesting. It's a really funny combat trick. I could see if this card turns out to be strong, right? Let's say that it's strong, like something like pirate aggro, right? Because you know you just go wide and then you give all of your allies +1 attack. I could see them making this focus, but I think that it's important for it to be burst at the moment because of the healing. At least, like that part of the combat trick should always be burst. It's hard to have that as focus speed. But the +1 attack, if that turns out to be problematic as an aggressive card, I could see them tweaking the speed. I don't know, interesting card, a little simple, but also very weird for the region. We don't really have like wide buffs for Bilgewater, and I think this is one of the first ones, so it's kind of interesting. All right, so then we have Slipstream, which can be created by Nilah and Vicrash. But I'm gonna go hop down to Master Lookout, which is a 1 mana 2/1, which is already premium stat line. Bilgewater loves having 2 mana 2/1, so it's a 2 mana 2/1 Bilgewater unit that says once you have drawn 3 or more cards in a round this game, grant me +1/+1 and Brash. Whoa! So as soon as you get 1 Slipstream in, this card is a 1 mana 3/2 Brash. I think that's very powerful. This is a very powerful 1-drop. I think that this is going to be another staple in the region. It's going to be a staple in aggro. Wow, that's a really powerful card. 1 mana 3/2 Brash is like really scary. And I don't think that the prerequisite is that difficult to achieve either. Even in Pirate Warrior, you know? Pirate Warrior. Even in pirate aggro, you know, you'll see I have Nagakaboros in there, so maybe that's like the only way to achieve that, or maybe, you know, second TF in Eternal. But I do think that Master Lookout is going to turn out to be a pretty powerful card. Like I can see a lot of that being played. It looks very strong. All right. And then we have Dedicant of the Challenge, which is a 4 mana 2/1, which says when I'm summoned, updraft your hand to grant me +1/+1 for each card updrafted, and then draw 2. So it looks like we have a new keyword here. This unit is going to do something to your hand and then draw you 2 and then get buffed. So let's go ahead. Updraft. So Updraft is a new vocabulary that we have in Legends of Runeterra that says shuffle a card into your deck and reduce its cost by 1. Oh. shuffle a card into your deck and then reduce its card by 1. So I guess because you're going to be drawing a lot, you need to empty your hand, you need to shuffle it back, and you're going to be able to reduce that by 1. I think this is a pretty powerful ability, you know? It reminds me of some custom cards that I've seen from Bad Rad on Twitter, where you would stuff cards back into your deck in order to gain effect. So I mean, this is similar to that. It feels like I do like the ability to take advantage of all the draw that you have and not have to always play all the cards and then, you know, invest it into later. I think coming down on turn 4, the Dedicant isn't too bad. It doesn't have any keywords, so it might be a vanilla like unit, as we saw in the preview video where it got pretty big, but you know, there's no keyword, so it can just be chump blocked as much. But I do think that discounting your hand is pretty good, and I think even though you're drawing 2, you are going to be playing all these other draw spells so that your hand's going to be replenished quickly anyways. So let's go back to this image, and then we have the next card, which is another boat. We have the Tidecaller, the Tide Dancer, the Tide Dancer, which is a 6 mana 3/5 epic card in Bilgewater that reads, when I'm summoned, draw Nilah. Each round, when you play your 3rd card, give other allies +2 and brash this round. When I would gain fleeting, reveal me instead. Whoa, okay, this card's really funny. Like, Nilah is obviously a 2 cost unit, but the level up requirement of 16 cards having to be drawn might make her flip later in the game, where drawing her on 6 or after 6 may not be an issue, right? Especially with the powerful combination of the boat and Nilah. Like, maybe I'm getting caught up in like the boat synergy too much. It's not too often that we see these boats getting played, except for like Swain is like the most, I think Swain has the most played boat out of all of the boats. So to see this new one that might actually be very powerful and a very great finisher for Nilah decks, I mean, when you play your 3rd card, give allies +2 and brash, and then Nilah just does 2 damage at burst speed to everything, and they can't block suddenly. I think that this boat looks really great. I think that it's pretty well costed. It's a little bit maybe weak on the power side, with the HP at 5 being pretty decent. I'm not terribly upset with that, but I feel like if this was like a 4/5 or inherently had brash, if this card had brash itself, because it gives other units brash, I think that would be better, but it might be too strong. I do like the fact that it can't be fleeting, that it just gets revealed instead. I think that that is really interesting. And you know what? If you can get it discounted with a Dedicant, having a 5 mana Tide Dancer, I think is pretty decent. I don't think that's bad at all. I think the Tide Dancer sounds great when I think about it, and I don't know. Nilah is looking really interesting. You know, she's obviously a burn champion on some levels, but also board control, draw heavy, very much a cycling. You know, what do I need? What don't I need? Shuffling your cards. I'm excited to see what other Updraft effects they print. Obviously, this is only the first one, so we should hopefully see more. But yeah, that's Nilah. That's her package. I do think that it is pretty exciting. I think that this 1-drop is crazy. But yesterday, on some community streams, a couple other cards were revealed. You may have seen it earlier when I was shuffling through my tabs, but a couple other cards were revealed. So I wanted to go ahead and pull that up and we can review them. It's just 2 cards here. And so it looks like we have Janna, first of all, but we have Divine Whirlwind, which is a 5 mana fast spell for Piltover and Zon that says if you've drawn 3 cards this round, I cost 2 less. Okay, very, very obvious synergy with Nilah already. Deal 3 damage to a unit and 2 to the enemy nexus. Fast speed, 2 damage to the enemy nexus. Come on, guys. This card's really good. It reminds me of Blowback, obviously. It is 1 mana more expensive, but has the potential to be 1 mana cheaper. And it obviously does up to, less damage than Blowback does. But wow, having unit and Nexus damage in a single spell is very, very powerful. We've seen Blowback be a very powerful spell. We've seen the 2 mana slow spell from Vandal City. Electro Harpoon. Yes, we've seen Electro Harpoons be very powerful. This spell looks crazy to me. A fast, I'm looking at this, and even at 5, you don't mind playing this at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? It's a very powerful finisher. And I think that if you're able to achieve the prerequisite and get the card down to get it down to 3 mana, fast speed, deal 3, deal 2, that's kind of powerful. I don't know, that seems like a very good spell. I feel like if this is what Janna and Nilah are looking like, we're gonna have a pretty spicy meta. I really do feel that. Yeah, Divine Whirlwind seems like a great card. I don't know. If you've drawn 3+ cards, so all you need to do is draw an additional 2, right? In 1 round. I don't know. I think this is very good. I think this is a very powerful card. I think that we'll see this a lot in Piltover and Zon. I think that I'm going to try to play it with any burn decks that I might try to play for the region. But it seems really good. And if it kind of indicates that Janna might be a burn style champion. So we'll see how that pans out. So that's the first card that was revealed. The other card is also going to be another Janna spell, it looks like. And that's going to be Galesong Flock, which is a 5 mana slow speed spell in Piltover and Zon that says summon a Galesong Swallow, which we don't really know what that is, but it's a unit, and grant it +1/+1 for each other elemental spell and elemental skill that you've played this game. Draw 1. Alright, well, interesting. We only obviously know 1/2 of this card with, the spell side. We don't really know what the unit looks like and if it has any keywords, but it's a bird, at least I'm assuming. And it's going to get +1/+1 for every, kind of just grows as you get later and later into the game. Not super exciting of a card. We'll see what the Galesong Swallow as a base unit is. Maybe that's more exciting, but creating a unit and just giving it +1/+1 for every time you've achieved something isn't really that interesting to me. It does draw 1, but it's a 5 mana spell, kind of slow. This one doesn't excite me that much. I'm not a really big fan of units, you know what I mean? The Divine Whirlwind is way more interesting to me. Obviously, burn, but yeah, these new Janna spells are really interesting. I would say that obviously there's a lot of synergy with Nilah, and it looks like it's going to be a spell skill based deck that does damage to the enemy units and then does a little bit of burn and closes out the game with Brash, So yeah, so just really quickly to go over all the cards that we covered today. So we went over Nilah, the newest champion in the game. I think that she's gonna be pretty powerful. I think that she's gonna flip faster than people might expect. I'm not sure how other people are reacting to it at the moment, but I do think that the level up is going to be pretty achievable. I think that her spell, champion spell, Formless Blade, is very powerful. They couldn't have given her a better spell, especially with her level 2 effect. I think being able to deny blockers is always very strong. Evasion in this game is so interesting. So creating a Brash mechanic, creating an opening for Brash to kind of get through is really fun. And maybe we'll see Jack coming online again, and Prize Fight and King's Court and all that. Joy Unending, weird card, not really what I expect to see from Bilgewater. +1 at all allies, feels very Scouts, very Demacia. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. Heal damaged allies +2. Sorry, my chair's in the way. So those are the first cards, and then we had the Master Lookout, which is the 1 mana 2/1. A 1 mana 2/1 is not even bad for the region, and then a 1 mana 3/2 Brash is crazy, you know. So I think that Master Lookout's gonna be crazy card, like meta defining. Like, you know, aggro. It's gonna be an aggro staple. Dedicant is really interesting. I think that Updraft is gonna be a really fun mechanic to play around with, and I think it's gonna give this sort of draw heavy play style a lot of, I don't know, it's gonna be crazy. Drafting seems crazy, you know. You shuffle your hand back, and then, or you shuffle cards back, and then they cost 1 less. I don't know, especially in an archetype that's running slipstreams. Come on, you're gonna be drawing like crazy. And then you have the Tide Dancer, which is Nilah's boat. It's always fun to get a boat. Comes down on turn 6. I think that's going to be a pretty appropriate time for Nilah, and, you know, has the fun effect of being your finisher for the game, giving all other allies +2/+0 Brash, and it can be fleeting, which is fun. I think that's a really cool effect that we haven't really seen on a card. So that is it for the reveals from today. Thank you again for tuning in. As always, I will be back to review the next cards in the expansion, so keep an eye out for that. You can follow me here on YouTube, and click that little announcement bell, but also follow me on other platforms. I'm Wickhelm on all of those. All the links will be below, so you can check those out. Would also like to shout out Always Be Gaming, the gaming community for everyone. Yeah. But join the ABG server, come hang out with us, play games, chat about the new cards, and, you know, we'll be hosting tournaments again in the future. So always great to have more people in the server. Please check that out. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Thank you again for tuning in, and I will